Polo Cup action is proudly brought to you by Astron Energy, Volkswagen Motorsport, and Dunlop Tires. Welcome to action from round 5 of the Astron Energy Volkswagen Polo Cup. We're down at East London Grand Prix Circuit, one of the most famous circuits in the world. But before we get into action here at the East London Grand Prix Circuit, let's go and find out exactly what happened at Zwartkops at the previous round. At the previous round at the home of Extreme Festival, the Volkswagen Polo Cup made its way out onto the track with Mo Karodia taking the lead of the championship coming into the round. Tyler Robinson was looking quite good, but it was Rory Atkinson who got the start of note along with a whole bunch, and you can see Tyler battling off the line as she went down in towards turn number 1 and 2. Karodia was side by side with Rory Atkinson. It was going to be a bit of a fight between those two, the championship leader and the man looking for a perfect weekend. Already battles in the mid-pack and starting to rub and race as they came out of turn 2. You could see Tyler Robinson was not having it all her own way. Back of the pack in the Masters category, some improvements coming out of Mike Barbaglia in the paybar car, but it was all about the fight to the front as per usual between John Kruger and Wayne Masters. Smallberger was in there, but as I said, Mussolini and Mike Barbaglia with some massive improvements, and George Smallberger joined the party for the first time. Oh, big moment as Wayne Masters just avoided a missed gear there from John Kruger to take the lead, and he would go on for the perfect weekend. Flat out battles in the mid-pack, and cars running off the track and on them on a few occasions as well. And some big manoeuvring happening there between Srin Rajpal and his teammate Hannes Schippers. But it was Berthold who came through and snuck ahead of both of them. The first race of 3 went to the Industry Petroleum machine, and a great effort there from Rory to take the win, just ahead of the championship leader Mo Karodia. Once again, it was Masters who was at the top of the Masters category for race 1. Race 2 and lights out, and we went down towards turn 1. A little bit of a gap in the proceedings there between the Cup class and the Masters, as always. And a fantastic start for everybody as they headed down towards turn 2. Everybody except Ethan Gutsia. He ran a bit wide, so did Tyler Robinson, who also had a bit of a problem there with a little touch coming through. And if you look at the replay here, this is the reason why. Tyler just getting forced wide by a little tap. And I think it actually might have come from one of her teammates as she ended up on the sidelines. And then had some more problems as she just got avoided by John Kruger and Masters. One going left, one going right as Tyler came to a stop in the middle of the circuit on the slip road. The Masters fight would continue right the way through, and it was an epic one. This time, Derek Smallberger joined the party in the Sabertech car, and a 3-way fight for the front end of the Masters would see Wayne Masters pushed hard. Problems for Milan Emsley as he came out of turn 2 and went into the kiddie litter. Fortunately kept the car going and didn't bog down, so there was no necessity there for a safety car. Second race and a second win, and basically a carbon copy of the very first race there between Rory Atkinson and Mo Karodia. The third and final one took place in the late evening, and of course with cooler track conditions the Dunlop Tires were going to push to their limits because they already had been throughout the day. Ethan Gutsia looking to try and come back from a really poor qualifying there in terms of his, and then a big moment as Karodia got out of shape under brakes, all on his own taking out 3 or 4 cars in the way. Hannes Schippers was one of them, and a red flag meant we went for a full restart. Have a look at this from the replay's point of view. This is Hannes Schippers' view as they went into turn 2. There's the tag. He looks across going, where are you going? Who was that? He's not a happy camper. And yes, fortunately got to start it all again. This time it was a little bit easier off the line from a lot of the drivers, realizing that they're in the closing stages. It is a third and final heat, and they did not want to go home with broken cars or the lack of points. Masters getting the whole shot in the Masters category, beating out John Kruger. Right on Kruger's tail was Mike Barbaglia with an exceptional start in third. From third place, Mo Karodia went into the kiddie litter for the second time. So big problems there for the championship leader. He would have to come back and see if he could get on. And then Srin Rajpal and Anthony Lessing coming together on the main straightaway. The two teammates there out of Works Motorsport got it all out of shape. The top end of the field though, there was a bit of a problem there for Gavin Ross, and the safety car would have to come out. And by the time that safety car went back into pit lane, we were down to 1 lap to go. The flag would come out, and it would be Rory Atkinson with a perfect weekend at Zwartkops, and a perfect weekend coming out of Wayne Masters as well. Coming into East London, Mo Karodia still hung on by 5 points over Atkinson for the championship, and then Hannes Schippers down in third. Wayne Masters dominating the Masters category. And join us after the break for race action from East London. Welcome back. We're at East London Grand Prix Circuit for round 5 of the Astron Energy Polo Cup and the all-important qualifying about to take place. And particularly down here, when you've got a big, strong breeze blowing down the main straightaway, slipstream effect is going to be crucial. And there are a couple of teammates who are going to try and work together with each other to hopefully get themselves up at the top and make their way into the all-important Super Pole later on. little wave there from Mrs. Kurodia, just giving Mo a bit of a heads up. Shrin having a little bit of an issue. Yahoo! It's getting slippery there, coming out of the complex. It's the first time that Polo has ever been to the circuit, so of course he's in the big learning curve. 3 more laps for Ethan Gutsia is what they're telling him there. Bevan Masters out for the first time as well, rookie driver to the East London Grand Prix circuit, finding out exactly what potters and rifle are all about. It's such a crucial and vital aspect to this race weekend, is to get yourself high up, and as high up as possible in qualifying. Great drive yet again coming out of Baglia, just improving every single time when he's in that Masters category. When the flag came out though, it was the former champion who returned to the top of qualifying, Brad Liebenberg. A big surprise ahead of Mo Kurodia and Judd Berthold, his best qualifying ever. And Shrin Rajpal down in 11th place with Nirav Singh. Bevan Masters there too, but John Kruger was top of the list in the Masters category. Let's catch up now with Ethan Gutsia, who makes a welcome return to Super Pole.
The last 2 weekends, flipping PE was a struggle, SWAT course was a struggle. Had some hard luck with the car, a few mechanical issues here and there. But going into this weekend, I've been on pace the whole weekend. I won both races here last year, so I feel confident. I made Super Pole, so now I'm just going to try see what I can do, try get as high as I possibly can, and then make something good of this weekend. So,
just to remind everybody how Super Pole works, it's basically 3 laps, 1 out, 1 fast lap and 1 in lap. That fast lap has to count. The fastest of the 6 cars that will go to battle will end up on pole position. Tyler Robinson, having a birthday yesterday, was looking to try and get there as well, and so was Rory Atkinson. Ethan Gutsia, as you can see, was already happy to be back in Super Pole. But big fights are going to be expected between Mo Kurodia and Brad Liebenberg. Did Brad have enough to stay at the top in the Super Pole as well as qualifying? He certainly did, and put it onto pole position.
It wasn't a bad lap. I think in normal quali I did an 8, so yeah, it was a good lap. I think there was a little bit in it. I made a bit of a mistake in the complex. I just went in a bit hot into the first one, clipped the curve, and it just put me a little bit wide going through the left. But yeah, I managed just to keep it on the track there. Yeah, nonetheless, it was a good lap. I'm just here to have a little bit of fun, and yeah, it was a good time. I'm enjoying it.
Pole position in the Masters went to John Kruger.
Yes, thanks. It was hard, it was close, Wayne was close, and the other Masters too. I think I was just able to extract a little bit more out of the new tyres perhaps than they were, and I suppose that gave me the point 1.
Join us after the break for race 1 action here from East London. As we get ready to go now for race 1 of Astron Energy Volkswagen Polo Cup, it gives us a chance to congratulate Brad Liebenberg and John Kruger for their Dunlop Pole Position Awards. With all the pleasantries out the way now, it's time to go racing. As we said earlier in the show, a surprise entry, and great to have him back on the grid for Astron Energy Polo Cup in the former Polo Cup champion, Brad Liebenberg, on pole position. He's here to have some fun, as you heard, but the fun is going to be spoilt by Mo Kurodia, who's not here to have fun. He's here to get championship points, and Mo definitely needs to try and stay ahead, maybe use Brad a little bit. I think Brad might be out there to try and assist Judd Berthold as well. Remember, they are running under Volkswagen Motorsport colours, so let's see what happens. As they head down towards turn 1, our lights go out, and we are racing. Tyler Robinson, as I said, celebrated her birthday yesterday, 17 years of age, and now looking to try and get a victory at one of the most difficult circuits we go to in the country. Charles Morberger will tell you all about that. He goes side by side with Divian Naidu as they head towards Potters for the first time. Just squeezes Divian out. Everybody seems to have got through there relatively unscathed in terms of the Cup class. Here come the Masters, and it's John Kruger. Oh, somebody's run off wide though. Somebody's gone off the track completely there on the right-hand side. Not quite sure who that was, but definitely some problems there, and potentially going to be a little bit of an issue as that car gets back on circuit. Yellow flags waving, and you can see a lot of water standing on the side of the track. Overnight rain has cost a little bit of an issue on the outside. Whatever you do, stay on the black stuff here in East London today. You do not want to go onto the grass or onto the dirty stuff, because there is so much standing water at the bottom end of the circuit, and you could see it as that car was stuck on the right-hand side heading down towards Potters on the start. This is Skippers' point of view as we go in, and yellow flags waving into the complex as well. So I think a safety car has been called. Yes, safety car has been called, and there's a good potential that's due to the reason that we've got two cars possibly on that main straightaway. Safety car board is out. I don't know if anybody's seen it just yet. Certainly Bevan hasn't. He was keeping it buried around the outside. Here they come. Oh, everybody trying to avoid some slowing cars and just getting out of shape there. Hannes Schippers goes wide. I think they've all realised now that was some kind of an issue and they've all slowed down. But I don't think anybody actually got to see the safety car boards and the yellow flags being waved, which is why there was a little bit of frantic activity there, as we could see from Charles Smallberger's point of view as well. They've now settled down a little bit, and we'll get to see exactly what the issue is from that safety car's point of view. I think there was a good possibility that the two Bertolds might have come together there on that front straightaway. There's one of them. That's Judd. The other car that we saw rolling down the side was actually Bjorn. So Bjorn and Judd Bertold coming together there on the main straightaway on the start, and you can see stuck in the water is Judd Bertold. Have a look on the replay's point of view here. That's Shrin just waving back to say, listen, I'm so sorry. And he gets a little tag and then realizes that there's a couple of cars, one of them being the Industrial Petroleum car there. And there you go, gets sent into the wall. What is going on here? Absolute chaos for Shrin Rajpal on board with him there, and they're supposed to be slowing down. But as I said, I don't think any of those cars involved in an incident actually saw the safety car boards come out. And that would be a little bit of an issue there for Shrin Rajpal. That means the Dubcore car is out, and possibly for the entire day. Not the way he wanted to start his debut. Bit of a baptism of fire there for sure. We do restart though. It's single file across the line, and that's how they do the restart here for Polo Cup. And Brad Lindbergh trying to get away. You can see a little bit of water still running across the circuit there, and green flags mean everybody can go flat out now down towards Potters. This is Skipper's point of view as he heads down towards Potters. Let's see if he keeps it buried here. A little slight lift off up into the very fast right-hander. It's not the fastest part of the track, but it's arguably one of the most dangerous parts of the circuit as he comes closing in on the back end of Naidu. Devien goes defensive into Rifle. Keeps him just as honest as he can, heading towards Kokobana. And now you'll see back down the box they go. Down into third. Down towards second now as well as they get into the off-camber right-hander and onto the beach straight. You can see trying to close down there on Charles Smallberger, who's just up the road from them. But it's Liebenberg who leads out Karodia, who's second, as they head down that beach straight away and into the complex now for the first time in anger. They came in here in anger a little bit earlier on, but they were supposed to be slowing down. That was a big, big concern. Is that Bertold back on circuit? Yes, they managed to get his car back onto the track, and that's going to help him out a huge amount as he sits in third place at the moment. And you can see just in the background a couple of battle-scarred cars due to that little incident as they came out of the complex after the safety car came out. John Kruger leads out the Masters. Wayne is on his tail, so Wayne Masters closing him down. Then it's Smallberger. Behind that, by the looks of it, it's Mike Bobaglia. Yes, then Elio Mussolini also having a fantastic run here in East London. We're on board with Masters as they head towards Beacon for the first time. He'll be closing up under braking to get onto the back end of that Habwood oil machine, but can't quite get underneath him just yet. He goes defensive to keep up the Sabertech car there of Derek Smallberger in third. Bobaglia running slightly wide, then Mussolini following him. A bit of maybe some traction control. He looked at exactly where Mike Bobaglia was going and followed him through. Got to pick your own lines. Here we go. Possibilities. Oh, Wayne Masters going on the dirty side of the track. That's the reason. It's not quite dirty, but it's the wetter side of the track to try and find a line to get around and into Potters first. I lost a little bit of traction. Those Dunlops would have just ripped up slightly through there and maybe had a little bit of aquaplane effect. Battle for third. Raging here. Look at this. This is brilliant stuff. Tyler Robinson on the inside of Rory Atkinson. Right on her tail is Ethan Kutsia. And coming into the complex, Judd Bertold was just keeping them all at bay. We watch from Hannes Schippers. He's about 4 or 5 cars back from that battle. He's now tucking in and looking for a way through. He's got Ethan Kutsia just up the road from him, and he's also looking at, of course, Smallberger and Naidu all around him. There are 6 or 7 cars all fighting for potentially what could be the final step of the podium. They head up towards Beacon, and Bertold hangs on. And to get that car back on track, a magnificent job there done by the motorsport team there from Volkswagen to get that car back on track and ready to go for the restart. They come across the line, another lap completed. Bertold is side by side there with Rory Atkinson. Atkinson on the outside. There's a little bit of traction, as I said. You go through that water, it's kind of a little bit of an aquaplane effect, but they just keep it buried. They're not worried if they're going left or right. They're all just giving it everything they can. Tricky conditions on the circuit here, and no worries at all in terms of the fear factor from these drivers at arguably one of the highest speed level circuits in the country. This is Schippers. He still hasn't found a way through there, and he's pushing hard to try and get through there, but it's not an easy task for him. As you can see, Hannes Schippers not able to find it, and he tries the outside line, and oh, somebody's spinning off. That's Bertold. Bjorn Bertold on the inside, just gets it all wrong, locking up under braking, cuts across the track, just avoids the back end of Schippers and of the Sabertech car here of Charles Smallberger. Very lucky to be avoided by those two. I think they saw what was happening and just gave him a little bit of room. Great driving from Schippers and from Smallberger. And now they come towards gate corner as Skipper's got the inside line. It looks like he might have. He heads into gate corner. There is the OMP and Sabertech car right on his tail. Brilliant stuff there from Charlie, trying to close the gap down there on the Doctor. The Dentist is in full flight and trying to just pick them off one by one. Next car in sight is Ethan Gutsia. He's got his sights firmly set on him. Ethan Gutsia certainly looking to try and close onto the back end of Tyler Robinson, who's ahead of him at the moment, and she's got both Rory Atkinson and Judd Berthold in her sights. So it's Retail Insight Sparko car out front, Lee Thompson Racing and Fast 5 Motorsport in second. The championship leader is in second. He's looking at Brad going, well, do I really have to fight Brad Lindbergh? Is he going to be here the entire season? We're not quite sure. But Brad Lindbergh certainly has had a welcome return to Polo Cup racing and resumes exactly where he left off. The champion of the past is now taking on the champion possibly of the future here, as they are going first and second all the way around the track. Ethan Gutsia has been close a little bit there by Hannes Schippers and Charles Smallberger. They haven't quite bridged the gap, but they're nearly there. I think under braking for Cochabana, that's going to definitely change. That DDS machine is going to become the Fenta trailer on the back end there of Gutsia's second of the Lee Thompson Racing machines. As they come under braking, you can see as well Judd Berthold going defensive to keep out Rory Atkinson. That's not an easy thing to do. Rory with a huge amount more experience than Judd's got. Remember, Judd stepping up from Rookie Cup into Polo Cup for the first time and doing a magnificent job. A change up for the lead of the Masters as well. Wayne's at the front. So Wayne hits the front now ahead of John Kruger. Kruger in second place. This is Masters' point of view, looking back at the Habot Lubricants car there. And a little bit further back from that is the Sabertech car of Derek Smallberger. So kind of equidistant here between the top three in the Masters class. Although John's maybe a little closer to the back end of Wayne than what Derek is on the back end of him. But he's got a little bit of a breathing room onto the back end of Mike Barbaglia. As I said, Barbaglia, what a run here from the Payball car. He's having a super effort. Not too far behind him, as I said earlier on as well, is Elio Mussolini. Dropping back into that pack slightly as well as we go into that mid-pack. You can see Bevan Masters enjoying a bit of fun and games now, having that baptism and getting into race prep now full-time as they come across the line and complete another lap. Masters fighting with Nirav Singh in the Kyle Army exhaust car. And just up the road from him, you can see they're also in there with Roshan and with Bjorn Berthold, who's managed to get back on track and has found his way into just inside the top 10. So he's got a possibility of still finishing in single digits despite having two spins. One on the start, which caused the safety car, and the other one, of course, was the one down at Cochabana. Checkered flag is on standby, and it's going to be Brad Lindbergh who's going to take the win. Mo Karodia will be happy to finish in second place with a massive advantage over his closest rivals as they come through there. But Brad Lindbergh has certainly become a factor. Comes into racing, returns to Polo Cup, and finishes off the first race of the day with a win. Oh, that's not how you want to be finishing those. That is Skippers late on the brakes, and there's a tag. Him and Smallberger have touched coming out of Beacon. There's a bit of front end damage there, as you can see. Hannes just keeps it buried though. He'll sort that out afterwards as they come across the line. He beats Smallberger to the line, but I think they might have a little chat there with the COC, those two. Skippers and Smallberger with a little bit more of a touch than what they wanted coming out of Beacon Corner. Masters taking the victory in the Masters, beating out John Kruger, and a good effort there from Smallberger for third. There are your official results. Liebenberg, Karodia, Berthold beating out Atkinson, Robinson and Kutsia, your top six. And all the way down in 16th place is Wayne Masters taking the Masters category ahead of Derek Smallberger, who snuck through on John Kruger in the end. Midway through though, Wayne Masters got to the front and he stayed there to take the victory.
He did very well. He drove a brilliant race. Just made one little mistake, which allowed me inside him on the last turn. And then he followed me around. It's not easy to overtake here because of the speeds, especially through Potters and Rifle. We're going at a hell of a speed. Then we were worried with the winds blowing in different directions, so it affects the car. So it was a little bit tricky to know where you can make a corner or not make a corner. But yeah, I had a good race. It was brilliant. Great win for the team.
Best position there for Judd Berthold as well, as he finished up in third place.
The beginning was tough. I had to defend a lot. I had to make some positions back, but I did it and I finished third.
Second place went to Lee Thompson Racing and Fast Fives, Mo Karodia.
Brad had me on my toes the whole race. I think I had Brad on his toes the whole race, but yeah, it was a good race. Towards the end I was catching Brad, but just wanted to keep it safe and bring the car back home in some points.
Back on top with another win, Brad Liebenberg.
I think I got quite a good restart, and then I decided to miss second to third and then go to fifth out of Coco. Yeah, put me under a bit of pressure. Yeah, slipstream's quite big here today. I mean, it's always big here, but yeah, I think the wind direction's playing a few games, so it makes quite a big of a difference going into Coco. But yeah, nonetheless, he drove a good race, I drove a good race, kept me honest, as you said. So yeah, let's see what happens in race two. Started getting a little bit of understeer towards the end, and yeah, just managed to close me down a bit in the slow stuff. But yeah, I managed to eke away a little bit through the complex. But all in all, a good race, can't complain.
Looking forward to race number 2 now, Brad. I'm sure you're looking forward to going 2 for 2. Mo Korodia might have some issues about that. See if he can get a win out of you and possibly steal some more points away to maintain his lead in the championship. Rory Atkinson is closing him down, though, and consistency there from Rory has been the key in all the championships he's won in the past. Looking forward to seeing if he can get that little bit more consistency now in race 2. It's low light, it's very late afternoon, and we're looking forward to another epic battle in Astron Energy Polo Cup race 2. As the official safety car makes its way off the circuit, they come to the line to take up their positions. Mo Korodia this time is on pole position. Wait for those lights to go off. When we go off, they go racing. We go on board here with Judd Berthold, who got his best finish ever in 3rd place, and he's already got some issues as he tries to go around the outside of Mo Korodia, who got bogged down slightly there on the line. And see as they come down there, Berthold looking for an opportunity to find gears. He's battling there a little bit, and as they come down towards Potters for the first time, whoa, how close do you want it? Roshan Goodman-Rani's outside looking for a way to squeeze through, and he manages to just get ahead. Judd Berthold goes wide and looks for an opportunity now as they go through Rifle to come back at him. Look at them just spreading out 2 by 2. You can't go further than that. There's not enough room on the circuit to go any wider than that as they head towards Kokobana for the first time. Now under braking, you can see everybody with headlights on. It's low light conditions here at East London Grand Prix Circuit, and a chance now to see who's going to have what it takes here to win out the second and final heat of the day for the Astron Energy Polo Cup. It's a good start. Oh, problems! That's Atkinson. Rory Atkinson, that looks like on the outside of Potter's Pass. That is a very dangerous position to be in, and there's a very good possibility we may have to have a safety car for that. Charles Smallberger hasn't seen that yet, neither has Mo Korodia. He hasn't got quite the start he wanted. Look at Brad Liebenberg disappearing in the front end. It's Ethan Kutsia who's in 2nd place. Korodia's into 3rd. He managed to just squeeze through there, and the man who had a big crash, look at that duct tape on the dashboard. If you can't fix it with duct tape, you don't know how to do a race car. Well done to the Dubcore team and Works Motorsport for getting Shrin back on. Look at all that duct tape holding that dashboard together. That's a great effort there from the team to get him back on. Mo Korodia getting forced wide there past Charles Smallberger as they came out of Beacon. Now they head down the main straightaway. This is Hannes Skippers trying to get into the slipstream there of Charles Smallberger. Smallberger's going to have a little bit of issues on his outside from Mo Korodia. You can see Korodia goes through the water, not worried about that water anymore. They know exactly how much traction it uses. And now as they come towards Potters, who's going to have what it takes on the brakes? Oh, in the background, there's a big moment. Just in the background, they're picked up. But look at this side by side here between these two cars. They are absolutely hauling. Korodia on the outside of Charles Smallberger, and looking to thread the needle is Hannes Skippers. It was a massive moment in the background. We'll pick up on that one now as they come towards Rifle and now Kokobana. Korodia's through. He's up to 3rd place and hunting down Ethan Kutsia, his teammate from Lee Thompson Racing. Here comes Skippers diving on the inside, looking for a way through on Smallberger. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. They go wing mirror to wing mirror. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, there's a roll. That is a massive moment. That looks like Tyler. It's Tyler Robinson. The birthday girl has ended her weekend with an absolutely horrible birthday present. Rolling down that main straightaway. It looks like she might have got tapped by another car. Just picked it up in the background there. And we'll have to wait and see exactly what went wrong there. But I tell you, that was a big one. That's on the main straightaway, and red flag is called. Tyler's car on the tyre barrier down that main straightaway. That is a huge moment there for the birthday girl. Let's have a look at it from Judd Berthold's point of view. There he goes for the gear change. Here comes Tyler. Little touch between them, but Tyler, I think she might have been caught up by the water there slightly as well. But Tyler ending up on the wall, as well as what happened here with Rory Atkinson. But Atkinson, of course, was during lap 1, turn 1. Let's see if we pick up on exactly what happened here. Atkinson's on the outside. He's coming across. There's a little touch there between him and Korodia. And then just watching the background, oh, he just gets an extra tag there from Berthold, who had nowhere to go. Atkinson ends up on the wall. Berthold just had to try and avoid the spinning car ahead of him, and that will bring the race to an end. It's too late in the day. We've lost light, and not the way we wanted to end up, but these are the official results according to what we got given. Liebenberg, Kutsia, and Korodia, your top 3 in the Masters. Wayne Masters, Kruger, and Derek Smallberger. But it's certainly not the way we wanted to finish it. Great day's racing here at the epic East London Grand Prix Circuit. With a lot of post-race discussions going on, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of chat here and there. Let's find out from John Kruger exactly how his race went.
I got a very good start. I got ahead of Wayne, and into the last turn, instead of outbraking myself, I missed the gear coming out, and he passed me to the straight. And I think that was the end of the race anyway, so it was only a 1-lap race.
One man who had a big baptism of fire for his first time out was Shrin Rajpal. Let's see how it went.
First session, missed that day for practice, so that put me on back foot. First time actually here. So crank sensor failed, practice 2, went to Potters, I got scared. I was like, okay, this is Potters. Practice 3, tried to fix it, didn't quite fix it. Qualifying, took it flat, happy about that, but then I messed up the complex. All in all, race 1, safety car came out within the first lap, got hit from behind, sent into the wall, car was bent, broken. The guys from Works Motorsport, VW Motorsport came together, helped me, new doors, new fender, new front axle. It was quite a lot of work, but we managed to make race 2. Unfortunately, it was only 1 lap and it's cancelled now, so, but you know what, it just shows what motorsport means to everybody.
It certainly does, Shrin. Great camaraderie amongst all the teams to get him back on the grid. Mocha Rodeo with a 10-point advantage heading to the next round in Cape Town. Looks like Wayne Masters might have one hand on the trophy unless John Kruger can do something in Cape Town. All this action was proudly brought to you by Astron Energy, Volkswagen Motorsport, and Dunlop Tires.